Greetings, my fellow eagles and the entire world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Mensah, with inspirations and guidance from Eagle Helen Mensah in the unseen world, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. Today is the 2nd of September in the year 2024. And the Bible says this is the day the Lord has made. And for that matter, we should rejoice and be glad in it. And so I take this opportunity to invite the whole world to join me to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. And life in general, life is beautiful, life is wonderful, life is glorious. Life is God Himself, flowing through all things, including mankind. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic, to be in the world, but not of the world. I repeat, to be in the world, but not of the world. Today's topic is taken from, or is a statement from the Bible made by Jesus Christ, that I am in the world, but not of the world. Emerson, in his days, also wrote that to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest achievement. These two statements point to one thing. And today, what we're going to look at is exactly what these two great men put forward. To be in the world, but not to be in the world, but not to be of the world. And also to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something. And that is the greatest achievement. Now, before we go, let us pause here and do a little bit analysis. The word controversial is a word that every great man, every person that has brought change and advancement in the world had to bear. It's a hat that every man or woman that is a change agent has to put on. You have to wear. Society will place it on you. And so you will see that everything that we call revolutionary, everything that we call good, was at first controversial. And if you go into the religious circles, it is blasphemy. And so even if we begin from religion, and I can only talk much about Christianity because that is what I know more about. Christianity, as it is, was at a point of blasphemy. It was controversial based on the order of the day. Jesus Christ Himself has been called a blasphemous person, and that was why He was crucified. Everything that He said was at that time new to the people that He was speaking to. So the established people said, no, this man is blaspheming, and therefore they sought His life and crucified Him. And even if you go down to the church, after Jesus Christ left, and the church was established in His name, the established church went through a series of transformation. And each of the transformation that came was at the beginning, what? A blasphemy, controversial. The established church by then said no one should read the Bible. You have no right to read the Bible. Some people stood up. They were controversial. They were blasphemous. Even people were hanged and killed alive. But they persist. And eventually the church became what they were bringing. The very controversial, the blasphemous things were accepted. And then if you come up after the Protestant movement, new groups sprang up. All of them came as a result. All of them had to wear the hat. Controversial. If you are a Pentecostal, if you are charismatic, believe it or not, much as you are seeing another group of Christianity or people new groups that are coming as controversial, your group was at first a controversial one to some people. And this thing runs through not only in the church, every group of human beings. Because man wants to stall the movement of evolution. And therefore, when change is coming, man is not comfortable with it. So he quickly classified it as controversial because what is coming or the change that is coming is eating or is attacking what he or she already knows. Go through everywhere, every group of people, politics, society, everything. Any good thing that came about was at first a controversial thing. Even if we go into technology, cell phones, and all these kind of things that we are using today, every revolutionary thing that we are using today came or was at first controversial to the people that it first came to. So, controversial, or to be a controversial person, is not anything bad, but it means you are a change agent, that you are moving the world forward. And that is the people who are in the world, but not of the world. They do not want the world to bend them to what the world wants them to, but they bend the world to themselves. They make sure that they think deliberately. And that is why the topic we are discussing is the art of, or mastering the art of deliberate thinking. So when Jesus Christ made the statement that he was in the world but not of the world, he was saying that here I am. There are a lot of things that I'm seeing. There are a lot of things that are not the way I want it, but I will not allow them to control me. Therefore, I am going to be, I am going to live and think and act, do things the way I feel from within me. And therefore, Jesus Christ always talk of the Father, doing the work of the Father, but not the work of man. You see? And so to be the world, to be in a world that is constantly trying to make you something is the greatest achievement. And to be in the world, but not of the world, are the same thing. You got to be in the world, but not to be of the world. You got to have your own voice. You have to have your own way of doing things, your thinking. Because what you are thinking and receiving from within you is what God is bringing into the world. So, to be in the world, but not to be of the world, is to think for yourself. Think and think the way you want to think, based on how you are feeling, but not what the society is prescribing. And so if you look at humanity today, if you look at our life, almost everyone is living a life that was prescribed by someone. Especially if you go into the religion. Religion, we are living lives that is being prescribed by people of the old, people who never lived in our dispensation, who never experienced what we experienced. We are living a life that has been prescribed by them. And now we are also prescribing new lives, and we want to impose it upon our children. And therefore, we want them to take it, you see. But that is not how the whole world is supposed to be. The world is evolving, and human being has stages. Every group of people live in a different stage. And what they saw, how they did things, was based on their days. And a new thing came to move them forward. You see? And so, whatever thing that you are calling controversial, whatever thing that you are calling blasphemous, whatever thing you are calling not normal or abnormal, is the real deal, because the world is moving towards it. And you need to embrace it. But as a matter of fact, the purpose of our discussion today is you yourself as a human being. What is your perspective? What do you hold? Or how do you organize your life? Based on what you are feeling, what you are thinking. There are some people that they are just going up and down. They have no principle. And invoking the words of Samuel Smith, a Scottish political reformist, he said, a man without principle is like a ship without a rudder or a compass. It drifts over the sea, every wind from every direction comes to move it to any direction. If you are living that kind of life, that means you are in the world and being of the world. You are allowing the world to move you around. and therefore you have no direction. But you are here as an individual, as an independent person, to carve and craft your own life experiences and live and share it with the world. But if you allow the world, if you allow things that you are seeing around you, if you allow things that are going on to control you, then you have no life. You are living a life that is not your life. And that is you being of the world, living in the world and being of the world, following what the crowd is doing, following out what everyone else is doing. But that is not how you're supposed to be here for. That is not what you are here for. You are here to create your own realities. You are here to make your own mark. And it all comes about, this will only come about only when you think deliberately based on how you are feeling, based on what you are getting from inside of yourself. And so, to be in the world, but not to be of the world, is simply to hold principle, to look at things based on principle, but not what any other society or whatever thing that any human being is given to you. Anything that doesn't come to support, to promote your personal growth, anything that doesn't come to support your emotional and spiritual growth, regardless of where it is coming from, regardless of whom it is coming from, you do not have to accept it, but you have to listen to your own self, your internal system, and carve your way, move the way that you feel it's supposed to be. If you don't want to be a controversial person, then you have no place in this world. Every good thing, everything that you are experiencing today that you call contemporary was at first a controversial issue, whether you like it or not. And as I've elaborated, go through the world, go into every nook and corner of the world. Every new thing that comes always has to be classified as controversial. And as time goes on, the controversial thing eventually becomes the order of the day. Then another one comes. Then that one too is called controversial. Then as we go on, that one becomes the order of the day. Look through the world, go through even democracy and all those things that we are talking about. We keep on moving, changing. Why? Because we cannot stop but to change. We are evolving being. And you as an individual, you are an evolving being, and so you cannot be static. But the most important thing is that you need to have principle. If you are organizing your life based on principle, then you have the power and ability to tell the world, to bring the world's attention to yourself, but not you, following the world. And so we have numerous failures. People are failing. People can't do anything. We have just what we call substandard living. We have people who are just average in this world because they are not listening to what they are supposed to do. They are not listening to what they are getting from themselves, but they are listening to what they are seeing in the outside. They are following the world. If you go into the job world, job market, people are choosing career. People are going into places not because of how they feel, but because the news is saying that, the experts are saying that, this are saying that, and so they follow it, and therefore they go today, tomorrow they are going into another one. And some people are what? Job or career chasers. They do this for the rest of their lives. Then they exit this world. If you go into anything, marriage, everything, every aspect of our life, people go into some of these things, or all these things, not based on what they themselves think. They don't even have a concept about it. And therefore, they are only expecting what people are saying. So they follow it, and they go and they feel brutally, badly. You see, if you are such a person, then you are in the world of the world. You have no view. You have no personal view. You have no personal perspective that you are holding, concept that you are holding about yourself and all other things. You see, and so you ought to be a man or woman who is in this world that is determined to be who he or she is. Be yourself. Be what you are feeling from inside. Determined to be what you feel like doing. Determined to do only things that you enjoy and you are happy doing. And when you do that, that means you are in the world, but not of the world, but you are creating your own life and making the world to come to you. As a matter of fact, if you read the Bible, the account of Jesus Christ, the number of times that he's been accused of blasphemy is numerous, uncountable. But today, his works is still alive. Go through history. Galileo was forced to recount his ideas by the church, but eventually they withdrew all of them even after he left this world. Go through those words. Go through history. You will see men and women who have purposed themselves, who have determined not to be of the world, but to be themselves. And therefore, by that, they gave humanity something that humanity now call the new order, or the order of the day. But initially, it was controversial. Initially, it was blasphemous. You see? And so, whatever I'm saying here, whatever I'm projecting, I know most people, especially using the biblical verses and other things, will think that this is not how you've heard it from the church. Yes, this is a new way of life. This is the new thought movement that we are bringing to you, that you got to be yourself. You got to wake up. You have depended on people for far too long. You have depended on the opinion and the suggestion of people for far too long. And therefore, you have no life for yourself. You have no life of your own. And this is the time that you have to wake up. You are an independent person. You're a powerful, independent person who has direct access with God, just like any other man, just like any other woman. Therefore, be yourself and allow God to work through you. Allow God to take you to places. And that is when you say you are in the world, but not of the world. But you are forcing the world to adapt to you. That is a fact. But at first, you must be prepared to wear the hat of controversy. You must be prepared to be called a controversial person. And as I've already said, every man, even today, now that we have technology, when cell phone, social media started, especially those in the religious circles, they preach against it. Now all of them have embraced it. They are using it to propagate their messages. Now AI has come. I actually received a video the other day, and someone was talking about how AI is going to annihilate Africans. Africans are going to suffer because of AI and all those things. And you see, these are the people who are in the world and of the world. They just want to be exactly what the world is presenting to them. But that is not the truth. The world is moving. We are going forward, and we will never go back. And therefore, people who speak in these terms are people who are stalling the evolution of the human race. We are going forward, regardless. Whatever thing that comes is from the source of everything, and it has come to enhance our lives. And so, this is my message for you today, that you got to wake up. Controversial person. To be a controversial person is an honor, for you are bringing a new thing to the world. You are bringing a new thing into the world that it's on its way to become the order of the day. And so wake up. Whatever you are feeling within you and your personal life, whatever you are feeling within you regarding your nation, your town, your society, that is God speaking through you. That is God seeking higher expression through you. Do not kill it. Do not say that you're going to look awkward in the eyes of people, therefore you're not going to do it. Rise up and do it. Be bold enough and take up the heart of controversy. Being a man of controversy. And that is why you'll be enlisted into the men and women of the great people, of the great men and women who have lived this world and left mark. And so, to conclude my message, I want to once again to invoke the words of Jesus Christ, that I am in the world, but not of the world. And Emerson also said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest achievement And I also say the greatest achievement you can ever make on this earth is to be in the world and not to be of the world. Do not follow the crowd, but are determined to be yourself, even as the world is determined to change you to what they want. And when you overcome them, you make the world to tilt to you, the world will turn their attention to you. And that is why you say you are overcomer. Yes, indeed, you have come and live as a unique and independent person, acting and working in after the likeness of God. That is my message for you. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open such that they do not fall on us, keeps the planets in their orbits such that they do not clash with one another, lead and guide you, open your mind such that you become awakened to the truth and take your rightful place in life, that you become a man or woman who is in the world, though, but not of the world, but of yourself, based or according to your constitution, your individual constitution. Now, once again, let me remind you, or permit me to remind you, to click on the subscribe button if you haven't done so. Join us to propagate, to bring this message of empowerment, new way of doing things and looking at things, particularly on the soil of Africa, so that we all team up to create a beautiful and a wonderful society. And also, don't forget to circulate this message in your network, such that together we bring heaven on earth, and earth here, we bring heaven on earth here right now, particularly in Africa. Thank you, and God bless you.